Hi, I'm Larry Canard, and I've been a high school and youth football coach for over 30 years. I began coaching high school football right out of college, and once I started having kids of my own, I decided I wanted to get involved with coaching youth football so that I could be more involved with what they were doing. What I noticed was there's not a whole lot of difference between youth and high school football. Certainly the teams are much smaller and the kids are much smaller, but the basic fundamentals and how we approached practice and games was pretty much the same. I always wanted to teach the game safely and teach the basic fundamentals and make sure that the kids had a good foundation as they went through the youth program and into the high school program. For the last 2 years, I've been involved with USA Football. USA Football offers coaches a great deal of tools and access to things such as a practice planner and drills library and online courses to help educate coaches to be ready to coach young people. What we're going to be talking about today is practice planning and how important it is to have a plan to approach every practice with so that you get the most out of every night you have to spend with these kids. Kind of paraphrased a saying I think I've heard mostly associated with the game of golf, but I think it applies to all sports, and simply stated, it says sports are all about luck. The harder we work, the luckier we get. And I think that's obviously very true. I think when a ball bounces a certain way in a football game and a kid is in a position to pick that fumble up and run it for a touchdown, a lot of people say, man, that was a lucky bounce. And while that may be true, and there are those instances that are lucky, you know, something put that kid in that position to when that ball bounced, he was in a position to pick it up. He didn't bobble it. He didn't fall on it. He didn't kick it out of bounds. He picked it up and he ran it back for a touchdown. Those are things that you accomplish in practice when you teach kids how to be prepared for situations like that. So I think practice planning is the blueprint to hard work, and I think hard work is the blueprint to success. Now, if that's all I had for you, and my next slide says thank you for your time. For copies of this presentation, please email request to unpreparedcoach@unsuccessful.com. My point being here is, if I came here to present this practice planning program and all I had was, yeah, work hard and good things will happen for you, that wouldn't be a very good presentation. And it would show that I didn't put a lot of effort into kind of getting that point across. So I promise you this isn't the last slide. We'll move on. Preseason practices. Okay, it's important to count backwards, okay, from the first game to the first practice and evaluate all the elements of the game you need to install before the season begins. You need to begin with a month plan, then break it down by weeks, then each day, and finally each minute. You need to evaluate that plan daily and adjust it as needed. When I look at my first football game, you know, what kinds of things do I want my team to be able to do in game one so that we're ready to play football? You know, and there are 3 phases to the game of football. There's an offensive phase, a defensive phase, and of course special teams. And I've got a month to get all these things in. Now, will I get them all in great detail and will we be able to do a lot of different things? Probably not. But if I've covered them and I've covered the basics about them, we should be ready